Hello, hello, hello. How's everyone this fine morning? I hope everyone's well. Let me just fix the music a little bit. It's been a while. By a while, I mean literally like a day. But the main plan for today is to actually take some inspiration, but since we're doing Noivern, main things we need to do is just kind of warm up this morning. For those of you who have never been here before or might be new, welcome in. This is something I've been working on in my side thing. I've already made a future paradox, Iron Signal, and so I've kind of been like, okay, I'll try this, and we'll kind of see how that goes. So we can kind of just start off with some basic warm-ups, because you should always warm up in the morning. Like, I've spent quite a bit of time. I did a little warm-up stuff beforehand, but you never know when you can have enough or not. And it's always good to. But how is everyone this morning? I hope you all are well. If not, I do hope it gets better. Trust me, I don't even know fully. But, if we're gonna get... Because I've decided to call this one Crawling Drake, because I got an idea for it. I just need to give it a good pose. And I got an idea. But it requires a bit of movement. That's gonna kind of be like, okay, so here's the body. And then you'll have the tail go up. With the head here. And of course, this. At least this is kind of how I'm thinking about it. Because I'm aiming for Bug Dragon type for this. We just need to do a few pose ideas. So, just kind of a bit of stuff like this. Small things. Because I'm actually debating, since Noivern has the little bit right here, I'm actually debating turning it, so basically turning it upside down, and curving it into like mandibles, in a way. At least that's how I'm kind of thinking about it. The issue is just getting the right kind of look, because that's why I took some of these as inspiration. Because these are just some ideas I'm kind of throwing to the wind right now. But how is everyone? I hope everyone is well. A few things I might as well mention. Today is probably going to be a shorter stream, mainly due to having to do other stuff. So, take that as you will. I could do a strongman pose. But I kind of want that more crawl-like pose. So I think I'm going to go something like... not like that. More like... And then we can put the head kind of here. With this body, because the body does not need to be the exact same as normal Noivern, because this is a completely different Pokemon now, because what I'm doing. I think something kind of like this could work. But I'm gonna need to be careful because, of course, we got the legs. And we want to keep that to be as precise as possible. And we'll just kind of have to see how that kind of turns out for us. So, for those of you who don't know what a drake is, in terms of like dragon terms, drakes are actually dragons without wings. But some can glide, depending on which you look at. So what I'm gonna do is kind of something like this, in terms of like giving it more animalistic features, because actually, I have an idea. Give me a moment to pull it up. Drake. I'll use the one from Ark, for example. The rock drakes. Just give me a second. And I will put it in here, edit, paste. How big is this? Oh, not that big. Good. So something kind of like this. And I think this could be a really good inspiration. And knowing how they do certain feather patterns and stuff, I think it could work well. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm gonna try and do. So I'll keep this one going out. And I will basically keep the 2 toes on each of these, so that this looks kinda sick in its own regard. For the most part. But then what I'm gonna do is, I'm thinking, not fully, but kinda like here, doing a similar aspect to, so you see how Noivern's wings have the 2 bits here, and kind of going like this on either side, because I'm also thinking about different types of bugs. Of course, with the head, we want it kind of looking this way a bit. So kind of something like this, where it goes down and around, possibly. But let's just kind of get the base figure of Noivern's head. So, like, Noivern's head is basically 2 ovals next to each other. Pretty easy. Welcome in, 21. I hope you are well today. We are working on Paradoxmon today. This is literally just the base sketch, because Noivern also has a very long neck, and I can use the fur and make it into a feather-like thing to go through. But I want it to also be very bug-like, so what I'm going to do for the tail is I'm going to increase the sharpness, kind of like this, almost like a barbed poison tip tail. And I'm going to kind of try and mix a bit of, like, some of these other aspects in, like, I like how this kind of goes, so my thought is, since Noivern has these spikes here, that kind of go here and here, I'm going to basically go here with them, so like they're growing out into mandibles of some sort. Because I like the idea of this being a bug dragon type. I don't know why. Kind of getting like this more pounce position. And I will just put this over here as another reference of kind of how we want to do this. And we want to get an exact, so got the chest and then the tail, so gotta make sure this looks right, because animals are very interesting creatures with a lot of how they work. So making sure that, like, you can get that type of stuff can be very important. So D&D question, when casting some spells, do I gotta say magic incantation, or do I say whatever the hell? For ones in Unleash Wrath of the Heaven, I yell Mom, Gay, and Yodel. It really depends on the spell, because some spells don't require verbal components. Like, for example, Vicious Mockery does. So basically you're speaking out a mockery, like cussing someone out or something. And, or, for example, I believe Wall of Ice doesn't require it, so like you can just kind of create a wall without saying anything. I know some things, I believe sorcerers have the ability, where they can just completely remove a certain component to it, like verbal or somatic, something like that. And it really just depends on the type of caster for the most part. But technically, yes, unless your DM is one of those people who are more like, it's basically just up to your DM. Like, you could technically say anything. But it really just depends. Like, some DMs are more strict on that, others are less so strict. So you just kind of need to... It just kind of needs to be one of those, so we'll figure it out. Like, as a DM, kind of talking with your players is super important. So it's always good to like talk to your DM about that type of stuff. Because some are more like not into it, while others are in different circumstances about it. A lot will probably let you do things like that, unless it's like specific thing. But I find it best to just relate it to the spell, because then it's easier to not have to worry about it. That's kind of what I've experienced. So that's pretty nice when you actually kind of get that stuff going. It really just depends. But I know for me, I'm fine with my players doing it, but other people aren't. Okay, so with this, I can kind of set up this. Because Noivern has this very spiky back. And then, of course, we got... Of course, I want to put this up more. And then we got these parts that I want to add, like, the feather effect to. But I also am going to make it basically an easier version of the thing, where instead I'm probably going to just... I could do something like that on each of them, but I need to kind of look at it. Or I could basically have it like this, where it goes in. Ooh, that actually could work pretty well. Kind of something like this, where off of this, it kind of... I could do something like that to kind of mix in. That's always the hard part about these, is trying to get an exact, like, face, too, because I think if I'm gonna do a specific face, something like this, so very, like, pose-orientated. So, like, we got this type of thing with Noivern's head, which, honestly, Noivern's head is a very unique head design. And basically kind of get the eyes in here. Of course, they're not that big, they're a lot smaller. But for, like, example, this. And then you kind of get the element in. I mean, it's an idea. At least that's one of the ideas I got. The issue is just getting it to look right, because like, this is all just possible ways we could do this. Okay. So let's start the actual body. We'll start with the easy part. Well, more like the body and legs. So, for Noivern's main body, it has a very strong, like, chest section, but since this is going to be mainly a partial bug type, we also need to make sure this looks right. So, we'll also add the tail section. Kind of like this. And then I want to make this tail very sharp. At least that's the plan. Okay, then we kind of got this neck fluff area, which what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to, like, bring it out almost like it's a moth's fur, in a way. And we can add that to our little thing. Of course, we gotta add our legs. Of course, bugs have very unique legs, but this is also like a dragon. So, I'm not really... That's kind of why I'm keeping the original leg things almost as if they're like little claw legs, similar to how some bugs are. And I could add the thing, but I don't think that's necessary. We can kind of add this. And here have the... It's gonna take a bit of time. And then, there we go. It looks so off. I can always add that back leg if need be. Actually, if I were to add it, I could probably add it like this. And then, of course, you got the... There we go. That works pretty well. Hey, Ziggy. Picture of yodeling so hard it breaks time and space. Interesting. That is something I never thought I'd be hearing. So, let's kind of get this in. Then we got the claws. Which, honestly, I think the claws just look a lot nicer with this thing. Like, I think they really fit. And I think kind of keeping that aesthetic is worth it. Though I might make this back leg just a teeny bit bigger. It would count the same for this one as well. Though, then again, I'd need to do a bit of finagling. Oh yeah, I always forget how weird this looks. Yeah, this one definitely needs to be shrunk a little again. And this one needs to be moved up, shrunk a little. There we go. For now, we'll keep it like that. I know it's not the best, but it's still something. The head is where I am the most worried, because this is going to be the most annoying part. Floating chicken nugget. What? I'm so confused. So, since this is more of a draconic bug, and I kind of want this to give that look. Shit, I need to just redo this part. Because I do want to make this look believable, but it's also very hard because Paradox Pokemon are very weird in general, and they don't follow the normal, like, Pokemon stuff. Which does not help. It makes it very difficult. Okay, yeah, I probably need to just go out of my way to just actually, like, frickin' relearn the Noivern stuff better again. I probably have it saved somewhere. I could technically remove the spike parts, but I think it actually adds a bit to that. Because I'm trying to think how I'm going to do this. And I do like the idea of, like, if we turn this off. I think if I were to add just a tiny bit of anything, it would just be a small bit to the bottom of this mouth. And then maybe, yeah, I need to figure this out. Bad D&D ideas, and there was a legendary bard while wars with his music, but reality 4-year-old with recorded nobody wants. Ah, that honestly sounds awful. Interesting, but awful. Okay, so it's specifically... So let's say this, and I do this, and I were to edit, copy, edit, paste, make a practically perfect replica, and then mix it like that, except... And then I can combine... There we go. Shit. I need to do this first. Give me a moment. And then... There we go. Hopefully that'll help quite a bit. I mean, this is just a sketch. So we'll kind of have to see. Because, like, I actually have the thing for Noivern here. These are just so long that I'm like, I don't want it too long, but I don't want it too, like, short either. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go out and hope. And then the issue is making this look right from the front. Because I suck at making things from the front like that. Let's just redo the damn head. Type of legendary bard stopped wars, but it didn't work. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, let's kind of take a look. So, Noivern has a very spherical head with two ovals on it. So let's kind of take a look at how this looks specifically. As you can kind of see with this, if we were to take this mouth and use it, we'd need to, of course, get this. And it does set out like this, where you can only see one eye. But I kind of want it to front face a bit more like this. So, if I'm to do that, I should just keep the circle. But I think what I could do is a shape like this, but just doesn't look right. It's kind of like a heartish shape. Okay, now, because literally, that's just to kind of test this out. Okay, so. And then we got the heartish shape. Then you got this. And then you got this. And this. This is one of the hardest things about drawing Noivern specifically. I need to move this just a little bit over. Because it kind of goes like this. Then you got the eye. Then you got the mouth. But I also want this to look right. Ah, shit. It looks so dumb. Give me a moment. I'm going out of my way to try and make this look nice. I'm literally gonna do this with kind of this more. And we can flip. The fact that this is what its head is kind of vaguely shaped as says a lot about Noivern. And then I can kind of do something like this. I'm just gonna do that for my own sake. So then we kind of want something like this. Then we got the horns. Let's just kind of do this. Nope. And then you got this. So you would kind of get something like this. And I think what I would do specifically is move this up just a bit. And then we can just add like a tiny bit. So like these become more fang-like. Though if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna want this to be just a tiny bit bigger. It's definitely more tiger-like in that regard. I'll kind of have its head a bit farther up. Almost like its actual Drake inspiration here. This is what it's like to make a Paradox Pokemon for me. So from here, I'm going to just... what now? Paradox. It's a Paradox Pokemon. That's what I'm making. I don't know if that looks good. I need to make this look right. So, Paradox Pokemon are like this, where they don't make full sense. Like Slitherwing, or... Paradox Pokemon are from Scarlet and Violet. I think the best way to describe it is they are literally paradoxes in time. But they're a really cool concept, and I really do like them. Like, the future Paradox Pokemon, I have a one that I just never shaded. Iron Signal, based off the future Paradox Pokemon for Noivern. Very futuristic for their style. But I'm trying to make Crawling Drake, because the other one is Flying Base. This one's going to be Dragon Base, because it, like with Great Tusk and Iron Treads, as well as Iron Moth and Slitherwing, they use the opposite type of the dual type. And it's actually kind of cool. You just need to know how to use them. And I think what I'm gonna do is kind of add a bit of that like spiked fur going down part of it, kind of like a bug. Give it these like very primal aspects, because they very much are dinosaur-like. Like, this is Roaring Moon, then you got Slitherwing. They all are very unique in their own ways, but I prefer the past ones, personally. They just feel a lot better than Robot, in my personal opinion. Okay, time for a different layer. So we got this. Then we got this. But yeah, if you've never seen Paradox Pokemon, I highly suggest looking at them because they are so interesting. There's some of the more unique stuff because they're basically different forms of old Pokemon, but very different. Like, they're completely new Pokemon, too. And we still don't fully understand how or why they exist. I mean, there's a past Paradox Magneton that has steel and, like, the iron shavings on it, but it also isn't a steel type anymore and stuff, and it's said to be pretty old, but the thing is, where the steel shavings come from if it's not steel type, as well as, well, if it's that many years in the past, being from like millions of years in the past, why is there iron shavings? Like, it's that type of paradox. That's kind of a lot of what Scarlet and Violet's about, is those types of paradoxes. I mean, it's evident even in the DLCs. There's a full, like, bootstrap paradox moment. I won't spoil what it is in case you want to play the games, but I highly suggest it. But it's really interesting to kind of, like, see all these different Mon actually get different level. Like, Delibird got one, a future paradox form, and it actually looks really sick. And so what I'm going to do for this is I'm actually going to give it that, like, bug look a bit more. And we can make this look so much cooler. Because I honestly love Noivern. It's my favorite Pokemon. I know, what a surprise. But I will say, a lot of the Paradoxmon are very interesting in their own ways, because even we don't fully understand them. And neither does the characters in the game or the Pokédex. Like, the Pokédex is even like, this shouldn't exist. And I find it really interesting. Because it's like, when the Pokédex is like, this should not be possible type thing. Or the fact that, literally in their games, it's like, it's mentioned in the Scarlet Book or Violet Book, and then you look at the other one, it's like, in a paranormal magazine, and it's like, wait, what? I think what I'm gonna do for this specifically is there we go. Also, I find it funny that, like, because today's my friend's birthday, and they're like, don't bring any D&D stuff. It's like, my D&D bag is literally my everything bag. So, no matter what, there's always going to be something related to D&D with me, whether they like it or not. And it's not even purposeful. It's like, I just have a lot of stuff that I need to carry, and the bag is just the best bag to do it. Like, that's just kind of what I've been doing. Because I don't have any other, like, good bags to carry it, and it's just like, it's just a good bag. So that's why I kind of use it. There we go. I'm definitely going to call this Crawling Drake. Almost definitely. Also, I do have a personal Pokédex entry I wrote for Iron Signal. And let me just pull it up real quick. Iron Signal, the Paradox Pokemon. In a paranormal where'd all that stuff go? Oh, I did that, sorry. I was like, wait, where'd all that go? I got distracted. In a paranormal magazine, specifically a UFO magazine, in a magazine about UFOs, this Pokemon is described as a... let me frickin'... Oh my god, I'm gonna highlight this for my own sanity, sorry. I am... I am having trouble reading. I am so sorry. This Pokemon is described in a... is found also in a... This Pokemon is described in a UFO magazine as an alien communication drone. Which, cool. I like being able to do stuff like that because it just adds different things and elements. Of course, what I'm gonna do here is add like this inner part right here. That will be the same color as these. But I think we could totally move on to a single layer of just some line work, but then we'll have to do a bit more from there. Because this is just going to be a base line work to get everything looking right. And making sure everything is in the place it needs to be. And of course we got all of this. Boom. I could technically do those there. Also, I should probably move this a bit. There we go. I think that's going to look a bit better. But yeah, the Paradoxmon are actually really cool in Scarlet and Violet if you've never seen them. I highly suggest it. There's a lot of cool Mon that they added from it. So like if you've never seen it, I highly suggest it. Like, I'm someone who's loved Pokemon for years. I know with the Legend Zygarde game, I am worried about, like, I am hoping that the reason it's coming out in 2025 is because they want to spend time on it, and not because, oh yeah, it's going to come out with a new system, which would really just suck. Because they need to spend time on those games. Like, in my personal opinion, they just need to. Mind you, this is my own style of this, too. Because if this was Pokemon, they'd have a much more... What's the name? They'd have a much more refined style, because I'm not the best with making Pokemon, like the Sugimori style stuff. I've just never been that good at it. And I've tried. And I plan to try and get better with it still. But I also know that, like, for me, I do try here and there with different styles to keep my aim sharp with this stuff. But yeah, like, for me, I am someone who, when it comes to Sugimori style, I am not the best, but I want to learn. I want it to just be gradual, and I want to have the fur kind of go past it a bit, just to add that little bit. Because I like the idea of having a bug type that's also dragon. The fact that we don't have a dragon bug type is actually kind of crazy to me. Like, you think we would have had one by now, but we don't. That's why I am remedying this. There we go. And we can do this. And then we can whomp, whomp. I think this is actually looking kind of cool. I'm just hoping it will look cool by the end. We'll never know till we try, though. I don't know why, but I like the idea of having, like, this just tiny bit here that's just a bit off. Personally, I think it makes it look a lot more bug-like. But I think what I'm gonna have to do is tone it back a bit. Like here. I want to kind of do something like this. And for the leg, I'm probably going to do something like this and keep it the same color, but just tone it back a little bit. Mainly for the sake of, because it needs to be a certain amount of simplicity without being overly complicated because it's a Pokemon. It's not a legendary, it's a paradox, which definitely have a bit more than the normal Pokemon, but they still have a level of simplicity to them. And that's one of the hardest things to remember when making one of these, and just Pokemon in general, is remembering to just keep moving. And then I'm gonna make this look right. Closest I can get. At least without doing too much more. There we go. And what I'm gonna kind of do is, we'll mark that off with like some red, I guess. Something about having like this bipedal, like, not bipedal, quadruped, like drake that climbs across the walls and stuff. Something about it's just really cool. But like, as you can see, some of these have some very specific details added to them. And I'll probably fix some of this stuff up too. I'm just thinking how I'm gonna fix this part, and I might just do this and move this just a bit down. God damn it. I always mix that up. But I also think about doing something there, and if not, maybe adding some stuff here. But I think this is kind of a good, like, outer sketch of where I need to work on certain things, just to make it look better. So, we'll use this one. Because the Sugimori style has a very specific way it works. And it's just not easy to do. Not for me, at least. But I'll get better over time. tiniest bit there. As you can see, even small things make huge difference in this. And then of course I can... Nope. There we go. There we go. I know this is technically cheating what I'm about to do, but fuck it. I mean, what are you gonna do? Get mad? Like, dang. It's just easier to do this for my own sake. And sanity. And then I can just do stuff like that. And then I can shrink it just a bit. And I can do the same with this one. Then we can boom. And also what we're going to want to do not that. We're going to want to lower this just a bit. Move it just a tiny bit. And you'll see the reason. It's just going to take a sec to get that. And it's so we can make it look more stout. And for this one here, there we go. Always one of the difficult parts about drawing a Noivern are the ears. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm not black anymore for that. And since we know, like, how they do the style for the fur, and I'll kind of like do it here and there of like, oh yeah, this is still fur. Of course, I'm going to probably let's do a little bit here. And we can fix this. Because I do want this to look like relatively nice and very Pokemon-esque. Certain areas are going to have more detail than others, but that's okay if it looks a bit weird. Let me just, there we go. And then I can actually do something like... Nope, that doesn't look right. I need to just spend some time to do a little bit with this. I am excited for certain things. I just need to get certain things ready. But it's honestly nice that I get to do something that's not just a normal adult work thing for once. We'll just have to see how it goes. But who knows? Of course, the hard part's going to be getting everything just ready. So let's kind of do something like this real quick. I know I'm excited for the next time we do Stardew because we're going to get married to the wizard finally. So that's a plus. That just doesn't look right. Let me try this. Well, it doesn't look the best, it also doesn't look the worst. And we can just... There we go. You know, there's some games I've been meaning to play. I would actually, you know, if it weren't for the fact that I have to worry about frickin' if I'm not playing the game, the fact that I gotta worry about DMCA for Pokemon is so annoying. Otherwise, I'd be playing Pokemon music right now. Well, I hope you have a good day, 21. But yeah, I'd totally play Pokemon music if I didn't have to worry about any form of DMCA right now. Because, it works fine on YouTube. But no, people have been having issues with Twitch and that, so... Not going to take the chance for my own sake. Which is annoying to me because it's like... Why, Nintendo? And it's specifically when people aren't playing Pokemon. Or, like, making a bunch of commentary over it. And me, when I draw, sometimes I go silent quite a bit. So, not exactly a good idea. I need to do something like this. I am excited, though, about a lot of the new stuff coming to Stardew. Because, while I don't know what it is all gonna be, it's still an exciting thing to think about. Because, well, what else might be coming? And that's always an interesting thing to kind of think about, is what else could be coming? That's why I like to think about it sometimes. And then, of course, we got this. And I can kind of smooth this out a bit. Hopefully that's enough to smooth it out. Of course, they take from, like... The thing about these Paradoxmon is a lot of them take from, like, the original colors for the most part, but also have their own set of color palettes. I need to fix this. Just feels way too bug-like. And I think what I'm gonna do about it is literally just this. Boom. Because I think this is starting to look better. Of course, there's small things I need to add. Like if I were to add certain parts, I mainly would probably need to do something like this. The hard part's going to be getting these speaker parts in. I mean, technically I could just... You know what, screw it. But instead of making it, like, multiple, it's gonna be, like, one or two. Instead of being a lot more. I could even just copy, paste. And then just... And then... Boom. And I can move both of these down together. Edit, copy, edit, paste. And we will do that over here. Because I think that will just look nicer. There we go. So 11 is literally just the rest of that. Okay. But yeah, kind of doing stuff like that. Just adding those little bits and pieces that are needed. I'm also gonna go probably to here and do something like that. And here's what I'm gonna do about this. Gonna combine them. Actually, first I'm gonna lighten that a bit. I can put these in here. There we go. And of course I can go through and kind of clean up little bits and pieces here. There we go. God, this is always such a difficult part of the process, is just making sure it looks nice. The thing is, I don't have any, like, segmented mon besides the Salamence. So, we'll just have to kind of go with it, but... yeah, today's gonna be a shorter stream, for the most part. It's literally just gonna be getting this thing looking nice. Line work. Colors. So, for color, let's kind of get a major look. Of course, we got good old purple. Let's turn this up a bit so I can just get a nice color of it. We got the gray. We got the white. We got the teal. Got the red. Then we got the yellow eyes. And I think for the eyes, I might keep them, like, yellow instead of, like, yellow and teal. I'll do, like, the reverse. Oop, too big. I'll do, like, yellow with that little bit of teal. Actually, if I'm gonna make this a bug, what I could technically do is make this darker and just... kind of that type of thing. Though I could also just go for the more like same to Slitherwing type of bug look. Where I go for something like this. And we can use it. Because I think that could work pretty well. Because I honestly like the look of it. I think it's a pretty nice, like, way the eye is done with Slitherwing. I think for now, though, we'll keep it yellow and we'll go back to it. We'll kind of get some of the base colors down slowly. Actually, I probably shouldn't be doing yellow on the same layer of the things I'm going to delete later. Now I will do it. But, yeah, a lot of the stuff, I think, if not yellow, teal is what I'll do for the eyes. Of course, we're going to have teal inside this. I mean, that's just the speakers in general. I'm debating making all of these teal in some form. But I think for the two there, because the wings are teal, but I might make them purple. But I have another idea. So for this white, I'm going to keep all the fur the same color. But I'm gonna do kind of this type of thing real quick. And then for the front legs, I'm gonna do something different. Because I want to make this an actual Paradox Mon. it's not just gonna be your average everyday Paradox. No, no, no. I'm going to make this look as nice as I can. That's what I want. So kind of setting out some of these possible base colors is going to help. And of course we got Womp. There we go. I know certain parts are definitely not going to be this color, but we'll kind of go from there. Because I'm looking at some of these, they usually have lines in between where they change the color in areas, except for like on certain things. Of course, this needs to stay purple. Like, then it wouldn't be a Noivern after all, in my opinion. I'm gonna make this red. And I'll just erase what's left out here. But yeah, like, I have a few things planned for next week. I know, I am excited for some of the upcoming stuff, but there's not much I can really say on some of it yet, because I just don't know enough. Otherwise, I'd totally say more on some of it. Because I think what I'm gonna do is, instead of teal for these bottom ones, I'm gonna turn them purple. And there's a reference in that, but technically this would be purple. And then I can kinda... Because Noivern is a very loved Pokemon of mine. Though I do find it interesting that the tail has that teal. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna just outright kind of fade this out by going up to like here at most. Like, oh yeah, it tried, but no, it doesn't go far. Because I want that, like, dinosaur effect that kind of comes with it. Like, part of this is, like, Caprasuchus-esque. Unintentionally. Okay, yeah, this eye needs to, like... See, this is why sometimes you just need to add color. This is why I like doing a lot of the stuff separately, just so I can get some time with each of these. There we go. Then I can... Then what I can do is just boop. Then for all of this, I can just... Goodbye. One of the nice things about it. But the nice thing is it looks cool as well, so that's another nice thing to add to the list. It's always nice when something looks cool. I love Noivern as a Pokemon. It's my favorite Pokemon for a reason. You know, there are some Pokemon I just kind of look at now and I'm like, dang, I remember when this was popular, or oh dang, it's a shame this never got popular. Like, I think about that type of stuff sometimes and I'm just like, I wonder where that Pokemon would be now. I sometimes wonder that. Because there were some that were actually really cool that I think would have worked really interestingly. Actually, what I could do is, instead of making these purple, and I could keep them teal, and make these purple instead. Similar to how the, what are they called? Wings work. I think that'd be pretty cool. And then, of course, for the red, I can use it in other places slowly. Of course, I'm gonna go through and fix a little bit of areas that just need a little bit of fixing. But, yeah, I think I'm gonna do something like this with it. Where it's just the tip. I could also do these back claws, but I don't know. Something about it is just really cool. I could also do the front two claws like this. Oh, I think that actually looks a lot better like that. Give me a sec. I don't know if it's too over-designed or not, but this is kind of just the paradox idea. This feels a bit off, but I also know that that's kind of a Noivern thing. For the eyes, I could just keep the yellow and teal aesthetic. Or I could just go for black. And we can grab the pencil. And then we can just... There we go. And like its spikes kind of grew out into like pinchers. Pincher. Delete that. For now. And then we can grab these. And we can scale it up a little. I don't want to scale up too much. I want it to be able to fit in like a Pokédex entry type. The hard part is getting the Sugimori style like shading. That's always been really hard for me. I've just never been the best with it, but I'm gonna try. I just need to figure out where... So the lighting I'm just gonna have coming from this point. So... yeah, we got all of this. Then we can do this. I also want to just, for this, I'm just going to put it like this. Just looks cooler. And boom. And we can just Oops. Just slowly get in there. Ba, 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 ba. You know, I actually don't mind this. I think it's a very beautiful song. You know, there's some great Pokemon games out there that I highly suggest if you've never played them. I think I'm going to put it in between the line work as well. I just think that's going to work better. But, yeah, I've spent a lot of time learning, growing, trying all these different things with Pokemon and stuff as a kid. I just never could really get down the shading part of the style. Like, I can, like, copy parts of the style pretty well, but not good enough to be, like, accurate constantly. Or make new Pokemon with it. That's my thing that I still need to work on, like, as a passive thing for myself, if I want to keep doing this type of stuff with Pokemon. It's just never easy. But the biggest plan for me is clean this up. And of course, got this whole thing. You know, I do think about, like, some of these. And I honestly am kind of curious on, like, what would some of these Pokemon be like? I know I have some random fun facts in my brain, like, did you know that in terms of, like, Pokemon, the first time this Pokemon, like, if you put them on a tier list of, like, war criminals, if you're counting all the games before it, there is only one new war criminal in Legends Arceus, and it's actually Bidoof, which I find to be frickin' hilarious. The thought of Bidoof, of all Pokemon, being a war criminal is one of the funniest things to me. Like, there's no reason for Bidoof to be a war criminal, but it is, apparently. So that's quite funny to think about. So if you ever want to bring up some random thing to your friend, just tell them, Bidoof is a war criminal. So are a lot of Pokemon, but not Giratina. Meowscarada is. Quaquaval isn't. Zigzagoon is. Vulpix isn't. I'm trying to remember each one off the top of my head, which ain't easy. I'm just gonna straight up just do this. And then, whoop. Actually, no. I'm gonna do it on its own layer. And we'll kind of remove this. But, like, each of the Pokemon have their own unique stuff, and I find it interesting that of all the things that Bidoof could have had, it has mainly destruction of, like, property and stuff without, like, care. A lot of Pokemon just straight up are war criminals sheerly because they attack without care, or whoever it is. Of course, technically all poison types fall under war criminals as well, if you think about it, because poison is illegal when it comes to crimes of war. You should never use like poisons and stuff, just so you know. But it really adds a lot of knowledge that you may not have thought about. But it's still pretty cool. I'm gonna add just little bits here and there. And then we'll go over with the shading brush thing. We'll do 7 with, I believe it's blur? No, it's blend. Oh, wrong one. Yeah, because it starts with blend. Okay. And then after the blend, you get blur. Ah, shit. You know what I forgot to do? Forgot to do that. Oops. Well, we can add this to the list of stuff we need to blur anyway. To blend blur. It's kind of crazy when you look at it and realize that, like, just how much goes into some of these Pokemon designs and effort, like, when they're creating them. It really makes you think. And honestly, I give credit to the people at Nintendo who, like, at Game Freak and stuff, who, like, come up with the designs, spend all the time and stuff on it. Because it ain't easy. And how you also got all these things where some of these are literally just completely different when you actually go through and change a bunch of stuff. Because it just shades differently. And it's quite interesting to kind of look at a lot of it too. Like, afterwards. And, like, go through, fix some of your mistakes. That's always something I go through and try to do my best with. Because it's always the hardest part to get this shading right. Especially if it's for Pokemon. Like, I've spent so many years trying to perfect things, and I've learned not to expect perfection, but there are certain things I wish I could perfect better. One of which is the Sugimori style. Because it is a very annoying style to try and replicate. Of course, then I also got all of this that I need to go through and just do. And kind of outline bits and pieces. then you got this piece here where you kind of just got to add a little bit. Because unironically, this is where some of the shading does come from, is just the shadows. And the, like, light that comes off them. And, like, I'll go through all of these, like, slowly afterwards. There we go. It's honestly kind of insane. But I got some ideas of how I'm going to make this look better. And it just takes a little bit of blending and time. Because I want this to look cool. I mean, it's something I've never really gotten the chance to do before because I've never done it with Paradox Pokemon. So I get to make my own Paradox Pokemon. So I'm going to try this and see what I can do. There we go. Now I can just straight up I like how sometimes you just gotta just do a little bit with it and you'll get it. Of course, we got all of this. Then we got the blur. That's going to be important. Little bits of blur here and there. It's all the I don't know why that just pops into my head sometimes too. Like it just reminds me of the Steven Universe version. Don't know why. Something about it, I guess. This is starting to look so much nicer. Now that I'm taking the time with it. Oh shit, I forgot about the teal up here. Let's just blend it a bit. And we'll add some darker kind of blend that in. Then we'll blur it. And then I can edit, copy, edit, paste. And then I can remove the ones from there. And boom. And I can... do a bit more with it, if I so choose. Ba, 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 ba. There we go. Just adds a little bit. Of course, we gotta go around and... Now see... Oops. This is where we take the power of this and the shading and whomp. Takes all of that part out and it makes it look a bit nicer. And now we can add some of the lighter bits of shade. This one is more of kind of that shine. And we can add little bits here. Of course, there's bits up here. And there's a reason I'm using yellowish. I'm trying to give that look. I'm gonna add a little more green into it. And then I blur this specifically if I want. It's gonna be a little fog, but a little precision and work. And removal of certain parts. This will start looking good in no time. Sometimes you just gotta do a little bit of work on all sorts of different stuff. And you'll find it. Just take some time. There we go. This is looking really cool. I'm definitely preferring this. Now I need to give it like this big folder. Drake. As I keep missing the A. And behind it, we can try a Pokédex type screen. It's been a while since I've done something like this, so let's kinda... We'll go for a blue. Of course, you got the Pokeball. Actually, something I'm gonna need to do is edit, copy, edit, paste, and then edit, change, there we go. I probably only need... Can probably do that. And I can make this shadow. And inside this... Do I have a person? Do I not actually have a person as like a random thing? Give me a moment. It's my own frickin' thing. I don't care. let's just do this real quick, and we will get this shadow going. Black. We already know about those. I'm turning my Sona into one of those things that like show the height difference. Except I'm using my Sona instead of a human. It looks like I'm becoming like an ink monster of sorts. You know, I probably could have made this easier on myself and just... Whomp. Actually, if I'm to get every bit of teal... Yeah, I'm just gonna go for filling this in. I'm literally filling in my own art. Yeah, I need to update my ref sheet. I need to update it just so it looks a bit nicer. Maybe add a few things to it. Not like it's any big change. I just need to update it since this is an older one now. And I think it would be nice to. Plus then I can specify certain things a bit better. I can make a better wing look, and I've gotten better at art since then. So it'll look better. And of course, we'll just have to see. I will say, though, making the shadow is gonna be weird. Like, having my Sona as a shadow, because canonically my Sona is about the same height as me. Just a little bit taller. Mainly because of the ears and horns. And so, yeah. Because of the ears and stuff, my Sona is like 6 foot almost. Specifically 5'11", but even then. Jesus. I mean, it's gonna be better that we get this shadow anyway, because I'm probably gonna use it for other things. Plus, I could totally make my own Pokédex page if I really wanted. Ooh, that would be fun, having our own Pokédex page that we can use. Crawling Drake. The Paradox Pokemon. I'm actually kind of excited about this. Of course, then we got... Just gonna... There we go. Of course, then we got this. Where it really doesn't matter. But... it's okay. There we go. Me right now just slowly doing this. The good thing is I will be using this anyway, probably for future projects, so it's not going to be a complete waste to make this. I'll probably, like, just save this in my folders later, so that I just have this on hand. Might not be the worst idea. It really wouldn't be. Like, dang. The beans. Gotta add them beans, of course. Once a foot without the beans here. Honestly, I do find it funny that this is basically just a Pokemon next to a Pokemon unintentionally. Because Lysona, I've seen people be like, what in the Pokemon looking? And I'm like, ouch. I've had people mistake my Frox for a Pokemon before, and not a big fan. Okay. Get these last pixels. And then we turn this off. And we make this. And then we'll put that in there so I can just easily. Then I can. There we go. Put this down here. For this, I'm actually gonna shrink it just a little. And then we'll move it like to here. Ooh, we could have totally done a shiny coloration of this. Nah, it doesn't matter. Right now I just want this to look good. So, in terms of length, let's think how big we want this to be. I say, like, because it's going to be head to tail specifically. Like, we could maybe make it like... You know what? I know a good one. 7.2 feet. So not too big, but still quite big. Especially for Pokemon. Then, of course, we got... Crawl. Roll. Crawling. And then, of course, Drake. There we go. The Paradox Pokemon. That's its category. And then it's... Proto... I don't remember how it's spelled. I know it's Protosynthesis. I just don't remember how it's spelled. But, for its stats... So, base stats... So, the, stats for Paradoxmon... They always add up to 570. So... For now, let's get HP, attack, special, attack, defense, special, defense, and then speed. And Noivern's stats are a completely different thing, because I need to move it to 570, and with its base stats as they are, it's 535, so with total 535, and I will basically, so for now I'm gonna do 535, and I will put Noivern's 1, 2, 3, special 80, special attack 97, then we got 80, 70, 80, 70, and then 85. So, this is Noivern's stats specifically. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically do a bit of stuff. So, let's make this a solid 90 for 540. Make this 90, so we have 7 to put over here, plus 3, 90, so that's 7. Actually, no, that's just 3. Therp. I'm actually, so because of it, it's actually going to be more, it's going to be 60, 70, 80, 90, 110. Shit. So 70 to 110, that's 40. I do this. Then I just add 20 to this, so we need to put, I'll put 7 in here for 30, and we got 570. It is even on everything. It's not the best in special attack, and actually, I might make this 50 to give 95 in both defenses. Actually, you know what? I'm going to keep 90 in both defenses, but make this 100. Because I want it to actually be like an actual good mon. And since there's a lot of like... Because if I bring up bug moves, for example, for Pokemon, You got Bug Bite, Attack Order. Quiver Dance is a pretty good one that they could get, but it basically is special attack, speed, and defense. I could make it a special attacker instead. So it would get stuff like Pollen Puff, for example, which is a special move that's really good in its own regard. Of course, it would get stuff like Skitter Smack, probably Sticky Web and Struggle Bug, U-Turn, X-Scissor, you know what? Let's make it a special wall. And of course, it is Dragon. And oops. And Bug. So, with the Dragon and Bug type, we're gonna need to be kind of smart about how we do this, because Dragon and Bug, Ice types are going to frickin' body it still. I mean, like, it is gonna have some glaring weaknesses. So, like, let's say we had a Dragon Bug type. Its main weaknesses would be so weird. Because you got Dragon, which is weak to Dragon, Ice, and similar. But it's like... So, like... So Bug Dragon would be weak to Ice, Flying, Rock, and Dragon, as well as Fairy. It would be resistant to Poison, and not Poison, Fighting, Electric, and Water, and the rest would be neutral. So it's not that bad. Oh, it's actually, Grass it quad resists, and Ground it also resists. But it actually would be a pretty good typing. And I'm kind of thinking of, like, some of the moves it would probably get. So, like, we got this. Let's kind of mark this out with, like, a thicker one. So, we'll use this. Oops, wrong thing. So I kind of would like do something like this, as well as except for this top part, I'd probably keep it rectangle and make it a and then of course make this a rectangle here instead. This is kind of how I'm looking at it. Because then I could take Drake here too. Crawling Drake. Move him. Grow him a little bit. But yeah, I think this would be a good way to put it. And I can, and like this is kind of a line of how we're gonna probably do it. So let's do a little bit of finagling. The shadows don't really matter for me. And then I will basically have that. And then over here would basically be a, this is the shiny type thing. If I ever want to add like a shiny variant. Which of course there would be. Somewhere. And then like here, I could put the stats specifically. So I can put the stats here, and then here I can put another thing. So what I'm gonna do real quick is just whomp. There we go. And because of how this looks, what I'm gonna do is OCD. Okay, so now that that is figured out, Bug and Dragon, Crawling Drake. We got the different things. In terms of the shadows, let's just do something like this. Because I got an idea. Oops, way too thick. What about this? I mean, that could work. Then I could just whomp. Lightly right. And then we'd basically like have lengths as well. I don't know. I think this works for now. It's temporary, but it works. Let's do a quick save real quick. Also, I don't need this. I'm also gonna add like probably a little star up here. Kind of like these little diamonds for the shiny sparkles. There we go. Oops. But how is everyone today? I hope you're well. I know I've asked that a few times, but I don't know if there's new people. I'm not really looking too much at chat right now because I'm just focusing on this. Either way, I hope everyone is well. Hey Sam, welcome to the stream. I hope you're well. I'm just chilling today, and I hope you are doing well today and at least able to chill with some of this music. There we go. You know, I used to play a lot of Pokemon when I was younger. I used to shiny hunt and everything. I still have my shiny Latias. I have it in home now, but God, I had to freaking game break my 3DS to update it. Just so I could freaking use Pokebank. And it was so annoying. Like, I'm someone who loves Pokemon. But even that really annoys me, personally, because I'm just like, really? Afternoon? Yeah, oh god, it is almost afternoon. Doesn't feel like it, but it is. I need to get, like, a special, like... You know what? That could actually be a fun little thing to do real quick. New... Go back down to 1,000 for each. We could totally do a type thing. Depends on time zones, too. That, too. I mean, it basically is afternoon for me, and I always forget about that. I always start, like, my own time, which is really early. I didn't sleep last night because I couldn't. Some days you just got that, and it happens. Either way, I need to think of what I'm going to do for a, obviously, the thing is going to be its own for... So, Dex entry. Honestly, something about it being yellow is not the worst thing in the world. But, I want it black right now. Dex entry. And we can kind of have that now. Because that should hopefully help quite a bit if we can get stuff with that done. Yeah, I have been working on some of, like, because I think if I'm to finish one after this, I would go back to Iron Signal, which I made off stream a long while back that I just never shaded. It's basically the future version. Because why not? Why not? You know, apparently in Japanese, Why Not and Wobbuffet are supposed to, like, have this really neat, like, duo thing where they are, like, a pun. And the fact that that isn't the same case in English actually kind of makes me sad because I love puns. Oh my gosh, I need to do, like, bars. Oh, that'd be so different. Don't know much about Pokemon? That's fair. Not everyone does. I grew up with it for years, and so I kind of got accustomed to it. It's like, I want to make this look nicer, but I could do that. This is one of the hard things about making things look nice. Because I want it to look nice, but it's hard. Especially when things look this way, and oh my god, I realize that's there. I'll just get rid of that. There we go. But I do think, like, overall, like, the Pokemon itself turned out great. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts. Like, I like this one, though it has less colors in certain areas. And I love the look of this one. I think it's turned out pretty okay. You can spend forever making stuff look nice. Oh, yeah. Like, if I'm to do, like, a full-on, like, Pokedex thing, I would be spending so long on that. Like, as a person, I will spend hours on stuff. Like, my starting soon screen, I spent so long on just to get it to look right. For example, let's just try and create at least some nice type things so that they at least can, like, be fancy. Okay, so copy, paste. Then we can just... Actually, why am I doing that when I could just... Give me a moment as I use my arrow key to just even it out better, because my OCD will like me for that. Because I can use both at once. But, like, I have spent God knows how long in terms of Pokemon. I've played most every game in the Pokemon series, except the originals. Like, okay, so 4, so that's not even half the types. But with the amount of time I have personally spent on Pokemon, I've spent thousands and thousands of hours, at least, just on Pokemon alone. And it's actually insane. But I grew up with it, so that kind of is part of it. Like, I grew up, I've played Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Diamond, Pearl, Platinum. The funny thing is, the first ever shiny I got, my Latias, I got from an event thing by accident, because it was a non-shiny locked event back in the day. So, like, and basically what you would do is you get this thing, you'd meet Steven, and it would spawn a Latias in your Heart Gold Soul Silver, or a Latios, depending on which game you had. Mine was, Latias. And it would just kind of be put there. For some reason, mine was shiny. And I'm just like, oh, I wonder what... Because I didn't know what a shiny was at that time. I was something else back then. Okay, so... Let me just type in the... So, I believe there's 18 types. Pokemon... types... Oh shit, there's also Stellar type. I forgot they added that. Yeah, there's 18 types. Technically, 19 if you count Stellar, but that's not a normal type, so... we are at 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. So, with 16... I can basically just, whoop. Let's just do that a bit, and... Boom! That was easy. But the good thing is, now I can lasso fill. Hello, rectangles. Exactly. Ah, shit. Let's just do that real quick. Because I think, like, getting all these types in will help. Like, just having, like, a box for each type that I can, like, grow or shrink. And we'll kind of keep this as the main one. So we got a lot of types to go through. Hoo boy. So, of course, water type is going to be blue. Fire type will be red. I know bug type is like this lime color. Grass type is green. Dragon type is like this magenta purple. Psychic type is closer to this violet. Fairy type is a lot brighter pink. Ghost type is this darker purple. Dark type is basically black, dark gray. What a surprise. The fact that you know the colors is kind of cool. Honestly, I've spent so much time. I used to do VGC, so I used to do like the competitive stuff. Of course, yellow's electric. So like I'm used to some of that. Rock is always this like color, like this kind of almost like drying bone color. Ground is always a darker brown. Flying, my favorite type, is always this lightish teal blue. Flying type's always been my favorite type in the game, personally. It's one of the few things I like. Steel, what a surprise, is gray. I'll make it a darker gray, personally, for now. Normal type is a light gray. So I will make that normal. Last types. I'm trying to remember every type in my head that are ice type is a very light blue. Not that light, but yeah, there we go. Trying to remember every single type is one of the hardest things to do, because there are just a lot of random things that are considered Pokemon types. Because, yeah, we got 3, 6, 8. So these last two, I'm trying to remember them. It's not Stellar. It's the original types, too. I got Dragon. Honestly, I should probably make dragons, a little bit bigger of a, deep purple. I should probably make it a little darker. Not too dark, though, like, probably about here. We got Psychic, Ghost, Dark. Remembering every Pokemon type is easier said than done, it feels like, because I'm like, there's always that one. Rock type, I don't know enough about Pokemon. Yeah, Rock type and Ground type are two completely separate types. Fighting type, oh my god, I always forget Fighting type exists. Because it's just such a random type. It's like this orangish color. Starters, flying, fighting, ground, ground, steel, fighting, another fire fighting type, dark, ghost, fighting. God, they've really used a lot of the same types now that I'm saying it out loud in my head, like out loud. Already got water, already got ice. There's 18. What's that final one? My god, I already got bug. Poison! Oh my god. I always... for poison. Oh, poison. And the good thing is I can actually make, like, really nice calligraphy with this if I so choose. So, like, instead of just making it big, bold words, I can actually, like, make it look nice. Because I got all sorts of, like, different types of... Just overall, I've done a lot of calligraphy as of recent in my life, because it's something I've always liked, and I recently got a book, so I do it sometimes in my free time. The issue with calligraphy is making sure everything is evenly spaced while also giving yourself enough room to make the word look nice. Dark type. Yeah, there's so many random types, and of course, I'm gonna center this, because if I don't, it will annoy the fuck out of me. I am someone who is very OCD on that stuff. Then we got Steel type. God, S is actually one of the most annoying things to do in calligraphy. Relatable? Yeah. S is so annoying, though, in calligraphy. In a lot of just overall calligraphy type studies and stuff, S just sucks. It's one of those that if you want it to look right, you either do it in one stroke or three. And even then, 50-50 it looks good. I just casually write a very wishy way. Fair. Whenever I write, like, I usually write in cursive. Like, I don't know why I do. It's just something I kind of do. At this point, like... So we got the flying type here. Like, I think one of the cool things, though, about calligraphy is you can make some really nice looking stuff if you know what you're doing. And it can be some really beautiful calligraphy. You just need to know what you're doing, and it's so difficult to know what you're doing sometimes. Because, let's be honest, who the hell knows what they're doing most of the time? Move that a bit closer. I do like the looks of these, and I can kind of like grow and shrink them as I so please. Of course, we got poison. P is probably the easiest to do because you can do all sorts of stuff with it. Like, that's always one of the nice things when you get, like, letters like that. They always are just so easy to do, and they just are so satisfying. I feel like this is way too true for with everything. Oh, definitely. Like, for me as a person, I always am like, I need to get things straightened and stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, this doesn't look right, and then I start freaking out internally because, oh god, it's not clean enough, or whatever. And my room's a mess, and I'm like, I know where everything is, but if I touch things, I know I'm gonna lose sight of some things, and I'm like, so I slowly do it, just so I can make sure everything is in the right place, and I don't lose anything. Like, that's just my whole time. And it's kind of annoying, but it does mean I don't lose stuff, so... It's better than losing stuff. There we go. Technically I could do this, but... Psychic? I'm trying to remember. I know certain types are spelled weird, too. Sometimes. At least I remember, but I might be crazy. Wait, no, it's SY. Cannot be OCD about certain stuff. The thing about OCD is it's a specific thing that affects everyone differently. So, like, you could be very OCD about certain things and certain situations. Side chick. Did I spell that even right? Give me a sec. Psychic. Okay, yeah, I did. I'm making double sure because I know I'm bad at spelling at times. It's like psychic. Fair. And... Nope. You know what, forget. Grass. Nope. There we go. The crazy part about, like, doing all this, who came up with the spelling fistic? What's the difference? Honestly, who the hell knows? You could probably find it online, but... In my opinion, I couldn't care less. I will say, though, at least this is starting to look good, and what I'm basically going to do is I'm going to line all of their front letters up to the side here, probably, like, either on or off stream. I don't know yet. We'll see. But I'm basically going to do that, and I'll stop them at different points. God dang it, I just instinctively went to that. You know, I never understood why they added rock and ground type instead of just earth type. It just seems kind of counterproductive if you think about it. Because the rock type ain't the best type either. Though then again, it's no bug or ice type. Those poor types. Ice type recently got a buff. In my head, rock, ground, like, you know, yeah. That's most people. They're just like, yeah, rock, ground. Like, that's a pretty normal thing to think. And oh my god, my hair keeps falling into my frickin' face. Give me a sec. I will literally wrap it around my damn headset. I don't care. There we go. God damn it. One of the hard parts about having very curly hair is it always happens. What am I drawing on? Oh, I'm actually drawing on a 2-in-1 laptop tablet. I've had it for quite a long time. It's what I've been streaming on well, basically the whole time. It's what I've been overall streaming on since I started last year. And honestly, it's not the worst thing in the world. Of course, I'm still working on my desktop, but of course, the place is being a nuisance, so. Frickin'. Oh, it'll be here in a month. It'll be here in 2 weeks. No, it wasn't. It's been over a month. 360 flip type laptops? Not 360, more like it can turn into a tablet. It's actually quite nice. It's very nice. Like, it's one of those things that I personally use quite a bit because I actually enjoy using it, and it's pretty overall good. Not everyone's into that, but I am. Like, it works well, and it gives some issues here and there with certain games, but overall, it actually handles itself pretty well. Like, the fact that I can stream off this and stuff is insane. Like, just in the first place. At least in my opinion, it is. And, gosh, I started, like... God, what time did I start last year? It was, like, end of September, beginning of November. September, October, November. Yeah, it was, like, October area then. It was somewhere in that area, specifically. God, it does not feel that way, though. Feels like yesterday, but it wasn't. Of course, one day I do want to try and get to, like, things like affiliate and whatever. But honestly, I just enjoy being able to stream like this. I know normally I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go for 4 hours when I can. It's like, and of course, today, we're gonna be throwing a friend a surprise party. And I need to be ready, get everything packed I need, as well as get brownies baked that I'm making for them because they can't have gluten. So I make homemade gluten-free brownies they really, really love. And so I'm going to be making those as a surprise. And since they're turning 21, we're also going to have a mocktail bar because they don't like alcohol. I mean, I'm someone who loves to bake a lot in general, in terms of like baking, brownies, etc. One thing I have been meaning to try is toffee brownies, and we'll kind of see how that goes, but I'm probably gonna test that on my family first. Not like it's gonna poison them or anything, but it's more of a see what they think, because they are all sweet tooths in their own regards, so I could technically take them to my D&D and stuff, but 50-50 that goes well sometimes, because usually when I bring something new, everyone's like, yes. So I'm not usually that worried. There we go. You know, I've been meaning to play Deltarune, and I just never got around to it. That's definitely something I need to, like, when I get some free time alone, or even on stream one day, whenever the next chapter comes out, I need to just go through all of the chapters and actually, like, figure out what the hell is going on with that, because I've heard it's good, and I've seen bits and pieces. I haven't, and if I did watch a full run, I don't remember it. Like, I've seen small things for the most part, but it's definitely something I need to look into, because I've heard a lot of good about it. Bow, 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 bow. And as someone who loves music, I definitely can get into Toby Fox more. I mean, he's the one who did make a lot. He actually made some of the more recent Scarlet and Violet songs, like Area Zero and stuff. What sucks is I have to be careful about some of the newer Pokemon game stuff if I were to ever play it, because some of it has gotten DMCA'd as of recently, apparently, so don't want to take that chance. Thanks, Nintendo. Game Freak. But yeah, like, honestly, the fact that Toby Fox, of all people, worked on, like, Area Zero, gotta test them somewhere? Oh, definitely. But yeah, like, Toby Fox, of all people, worked on him. Like, wait, really? And that actually really surprised me, because I didn't think Toby Fox would actually be the person to make songs. Like, it started out as like, oh, cool, he made the Battle Tower thing. And now it's to a point where it's like, oh, dang, he made multiple songs. Like, never played their games, but I know the music pretty well. Yeah, like, Toby Fox is one of those people who you can recognize their music anywhere. You don't need, like, to think or feel. You'll find it, and you'll know it when you hear it. Let's grab the bug type. Let's also grab the dragon type. And we will dragon. Oop. Bug. And then edit, copy, edit, paste. And I can, oop, wrong button. And I can kind of set it up where I shrink it a little. Like, I am someone who, I've played Pokemon for years, and I have seen a lot of the stuff through Pokemon. But honestly, it has been surprising me as of recently. And Scarlet and Violet's definitely one of those examples of really good. Toby Fox did amazing with his music in there. The Area Zero theme is very ethereal, so I definitely like if you like very like calming music. He also made the main theme. Oh my gosh, rhythm games. I'm either really good or really bad. There's no in between. Like I'm either just amazing at it or I suck. And there's never any other like thing, and I don't know why. It's weird because I used to do choir and shit when I was in high school and like middle school. Those were things I grew up doing, and now I'm just like, rhythm is 50-50 for me. This is starting to look a lot better. But like, I look at it now and I'm just like, you know, I should have seen that. I should have seen that coming. Like, that's kind of where I look. And I'm just like, well, here we go again. You know, every time this has come on today, I always think, you know, one of these days I need to go back and figure out whatever happened with Steven Universe. I've been meaning to. Because I like to give shows their fair shot. I just never went back to it because I just got too busy. So it's definitely something I want to do. There we go. Nice little outline too. But yeah, there's some rhythm games I really like. Like Rhythm Heaven's a pretty good one. Dex Entry. A magazine. I know I spelled that wrong. Osu? Oh god, I suck at Osu. Okay, I did spell magazine right. What? How did I do that first time? A magazine mentions this Pokemon as a creature that hunts in caves and traps prey in silk. No, that's way too specific. A magazine mentions this Pokemon as a creature that has been leaving corpses is too dark for Pokemon. That has been causing disappearances. I know that's spelled weird. I don't even know if that's spelled right. Disappearances near caves. Unalived people, yeah. This Pokemon is similar. This Pokemon is similar to Pokemon mentioned in the Scarlet book. Boom. There we go. Because that's what That's basically what every dex entry for these Paradox are like. I will say, if you saw this thing coming at you, you'd probably run. I think most people would. Also, I really want to get, like, a bar going here. Looks angry as fuck. I mean, fair. Though, I mean, if I open up my, Iron Signal one, as you notice, it has this thing here. Yeah, I use drones. There's Iron Moth, but, it's based off, this Pokemon, Noivern. And as you can tell, it has that effect. So what I basically did is I made it look that way purposely. Honestly, though, I like this one quite a lot because I like how I did the drones there instead. Plus, it's fun to kind of come up with, like, little fake entries for some Pokemon. I mean, especially for something that's called Crawling Drake. I don't know if you would want to run into this. For shiny coloration, I don't know. You know what? Edit, copy, edit, paste. And I will basically take this full thing, make it smaller, and slowly drag it. Oh no, he's backwards! Do these actually have, genders? I don't remember. I know Miraidon and Koraidon don't, if I remember correctly. There we go. I think this is a pretty cool mon, just in general. Like, I'm proud of myself for making it, because I normally suck at making mon. Shadows. Oh yeah. I can basically keep the same shadows if I change. I just need to basically go into here and change the colors. I think the white is fine, staying the same. What color is this? Shiny Noivern is like a teal color. Shiny Noivern. Yeah, it's actually really cool looking. Let me pull up the shiny. That's Noibat as well, but I need just shiny Noivern on its own. Oh, perfect. The Sugimori, but turned into its shiny. And paste. Oop, that's big. Give me a moment to slowly pull this out. This is shiny Noivern, and it looks so sick. Like, I love shiny Pokemon. And Noivern is just one of my favorites. It's my favorite Pokemon in general, but, like, the shiny coloration and stuff, I think what I'm gonna do, specifically, is, like, here, for example, I'm going to grab my filler, and I'm just going to do these colors real quick. Like, because I think this is a good way to kind of replace it, is the same shiny colors, but I'll probably, like, mess with them a little. I mean, it's literally the base colors that Noivern already got, except a bit different. like differently put, different tones, and I find it so cool. Because it is a beautiful shiny. And the eyes stay the same color, so what I might do is keep that the same color. Looks like dragon-like, because it's a wyvern bat, specifically. Noivern, the wyvern Pokemon. Actually, what is its, I think that's not its, Noivern specific dex entries. Let me just read, just to make double sure. The Soundwave Pokemon, it is 4'11", 187.4 pounds, and it is a Flying Dragon type. It's number 715. So I'm also gonna delete. I don't know if I'm gonna do the shading on this one specifically. But no, I want this out one. Come on. There we go. But yeah, like, I think Noivern is one of the cooler Pokemon, in my personal opinion. Though that is kind of biased. Like, I'll be the first to admit I'm a bit biased on that one. Though let's kind of look at it and just be like, yeah. Noivern's just cool, in my opinion. It's why it's one of my favorite, just designs overall. It's gonna be weird having a different color, but I'm gonna at least try to get the base color for this down before I have to, like, head off and do stuff. And then we can kind of see what that base shiny looks like. I'm basically going to take it and tweak it a bit. So we're gonna start with the base, and I will go from there. Because I personally think this green, like this greenish color, like this mint, actually works well for a bug type. Plus, I can just do this real quick. But yeah, I think this will look really interesting, because I'm probably going to change parts of these wings too. So, like, probably, like, yeah, this is going to be dark and stuff, but I'm going to change, like, the claws to purple and stuff. It's going to be interesting, and we'll just have to kind of see as it unfolds. So that will be important. There we go. Now we can grab this color and this color. And we can start. I so love this as, like, a design. I'm so proud of myself. I'm just proud of myself for once. Because normally I do not get this far with designs. Like, they're usually not this, like, clean, in my opinion, when it comes to Pokemon designs. Like, I've never been this clean with them, it feels like, for me. So it's kind of nice to have one that actually I like and feels clean. Because normally I don't get to say that, and it's fun to say it. You know, I could make this, like, just another form of the purple if I really wanted. But nah. I do like this as just the base color of Noivern, because a lot of the stuff stays the same but has small things. Gotta be British and make tea. You know what? Fair. go. Of course, gotta erase that. Honestly, I haven't had tea in quite a bit. It's been a long time. And boom. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the eyes specifically from that yellow color. I might do that. Though I don't know. Maybe not. God, I'm so indecisive. And bump. There we go. I feel like this will do some good. Kind of messing around with these. I know this purple would basically replace the tail tip. Which honestly looks so sick. I'm so glad I thought of this. For doing the shiny, just keep it lit like Noivern. Me gawking at my own ability to do, like, something right. I can do things right! Yay! And boop. Next eye. Of course, then we got the little boombox stuff. This Pokemon can echolocate in the caves and will hunt its prey viciously. Honestly, Crawling Drake is... I'm honestly surprised I even came up with that name. But, I mean, it fits. And it definitely feels pretty buggy. Dun-dun-dun. Just gotta see. And boop-a-doo-doo. There we go. We can get these turned red. Oop. Nope. Do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. A little bit of this. Now this is looking cool. Now what I'm gonna do is Slitherwing the Volcarona Shiny. Because I want to check what they look like next to each other. Yeah, they are literally almost exactly the same. It's just a bit brighter, actually. So I can actually change up the colors a bit. If I so choose. So I think what I'm going to do is, for this teal, I'm actually going to make it a bit darker. Give it some darker colors. And you'll see why. I just want to see what it looks like with darker colors. Yeah, I think it looks better with the darker. I mean, could be worse. I could have kept it a similar shiny, but I think kind of making this darker green really just kind of sells the more bug-like look. Thankfully, though, it still looks good. Just gotta finish the whole body first to see. There we go. Honestly, I gotta say, this is pretty interesting to do. Like, I never really took the time overall to think about creation of Pokemon for the most part. Like, I tried once a long time ago, but I just never went back to it. And it's actually quite fun. I might do this again. Who knows? I know that, I personally enjoy doing it. And maybe I could do more with it. Of course, I still need to get better with my Sugimori style and stuff, but it will take time. And that's okay. Sometimes that's all you need to do, is just take time. After all, every good artist takes their time. You know, this isn't the worst I've seen. But I think I'm gonna make the purple darker. There we go. I think making the purple just a little bit darker. That's too dark, though. What if I lighten it just a bit? I feel like shinies are some of the hardest to do if you want them to look right. Just in general. That's one of the things I've always had the issue with shinies. Making them look believable. I could make it more dulled purple. I could make it a different type of purple. Because I'm just kind of thinking. Or, I could just keep it the same color as the normal. With, like, the red. Let's see how that looks. Kind of keep the same red claws. Looks like blood. Thinking about it now. No, I'm just gonna go back. I can't tell if I like the darker green or the lighter green. I honestly think I might like the lighter green just a bit more. But if I'm to do something, maybe lighten this up. Let's see how that looks. No, it just provides enough contrast. What if I made the main black? What if I made it like this? Very, like, near black color, practically. No, it just doesn't look right. I think this is fine. And we'll kind of just go from there. Then I will take my main pencil. What if you had both? I mean, maybe. I mean, even then, it's such a finicky thing that I don't know. Womp. And I don't know if that's because of snakes. Fair. I mean, I think part of the reason I am not gonna do black is because it's mainly that color normally. And I think kind of keeping it like this is alright. I think it's okay this way for now, so. If I can think of a better way to do the colors, I will, but till then, yeah. Of course, this is probably the best time to probably end off and raid to someone if someone's actually streaming. They can do it. That is an AT+ channel. I can't do that. I still don't know how to raid out of certain things. It's been so long. I just haven't had the time. But I do know, if you want to join the community, we have a Discord, which I can put in the chat. So if you want to join, I update when I am live, when I'm sick, etc. So if I can't make it. Oh, thanks for the follow. I hope you have a wonderful time in the Labyrinth. I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. usually, unless something gets me busy, like today when I have a lot of stuff. Thanks, I made it myself. I actually can bring that up right now if I really wanted. Open. Give me a sec. I believe I put in, like, yeah, Twitch emotes. Oh yeah, those are Twitch emotes that I made. I got Twitch emotes. It's an animations, isn't it? Yep. Yeah, I actually have it, like, right here. This is a PNG version of it. But, yeah, I have that. Which time zone you in? Central Time. So, I stream 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Central Time, usually, unless I get busy or have things I need to do, like today, where I have till 2 to get stuff ready. Central somewhere in the U.S.? Yes. Central Standard Time in the U.S. If you want to catch up on any VODs or any series that you may not be able to find, it is on YouTube, because I decided to do that with a VOD channel just so people could catch up. But, either way, I do hope everyone is having a wonderful day and continues to have these wonderful days. Let's see if I can figure this out. Let's see. Can I do, like, art? I can't... I'm trying to figure out how to raid the specific thing. If I can figure... I'll try and figure it out eventually, but I will see you guys later. I'm gonna go get to stuff I need to do. See ya, guys. Bye, chat.